morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a pretty rainy and icy day out today, so we're really happy to have some company with us. My name is Kat, and I'm going to be guiding you through this practice. Um, like always, if things don't make sense, if something doesn't feel right for you, I always encourage you to listen to your body first and foremost and to take on that inner intuition so that we can really tune into the way our body feels. So, we're going to start today in a seated position, and this is one thing that I've been practicing myself is to start to learn to meditate even with our eyes open. So I'm going to ask you to start your practice with your eyes open, and we'll progress to a different type. Good morning, Gloria. A different type of meditation. So come into a seated position, and you might want to bring a block underneath your sits bones. And I want you, before we totally settle down, I want you just to take stock of how you feel. Hello. And I want you just to notice just the body starting to settle. And with your eyes open, I want you just to, without having that laser point focus, just let your gaze shift around. And just start to notice the things that you see without any kind of judgment. Maybe you notice your reaction. There's no agenda. Many times we close our eyes as we meditate, and we miss out on something that we have throughout the day, which is our vision. So let your gaze be that little meditation. Now invite your eyes to close. Notice the difference between eyes open and eyes closed. Sometimes things feel uncomfortable. And we just process those feelings and emotions as we invite ourselves to become the observer. Just observing our thoughts, the sensations, how things trigger us, and inviting this idea that we can start to detach but still stay present. So as we invite ourselves to this present moment, I want you just to go inwards for a second. Notice places within the body that might be a little bit more tense, calling out for attention. And maybe we allow for there to be a wave of softening in the wake of our awareness. So what feels tight on you today? Maybe it's the jaw, maybe it's the shoulders, the neck, the knuckles. If you drove here today, you might relax any kind of sensation. And you can feel free to actually move the body. Meditation doesn't have to be this total stillness that we're creating. Meditation is a training of our mind. Instead of trying to eliminate everything that's going on in the world, it feels impossible to do that because it is. What we're doing is targeting and focusing our attention. Maybe you can soften the palms, soften the legs. Maybe there's this gentle lifting of the crown of the head as you create length within the spine. Now focus in on your breath. What's happening with the breath? It might be shallow, it might be long. And maybe start to cultivate a little bit more length in the breath. What does it feel like for you to take maybe your first deep breath of the day? I always like to imagine as I breathe in that there is this circling of air around my heart space. Notice how much more air you can take in and how much more you can let go of. Time spent with ourselves is never wasted. And meditation helps to change our brains. So whether it's 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, we're helping to slow things down and to focus one of the best muscles that we can. Give yourself just 2 more breaths, letting it settle. Letting this breath be the breath that washes over your body. And just taking a moment and maybe letting your eyes flutter open with a really soft focus. Notice how things have changed internally. Things stay the same, yet they're always changing. Slowly drop your right ear to your right shoulder and circle out the neck, chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder, circle back and around, and just a few times circling out the neck. As you do this, maybe you let your eyes close, or maybe you have that soft focus. It's just a fun way to play around with vision. When you're ready, going in the opposite direction. I'm a looker. I like to look at people's eyes. I like to look at the surroundings that I have. And so it's just another thing for us to work on. As you come to center with the head, start to circle those shoulders around, creating as much movement as it feels comfortable. Continue to circle. I'm going to move myself back a little. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. And then just go in the opposite direction. And you can still continue to play as you do this. So you might move the head, the neck, the shoulders as you circle those shoulders out. There's a lot more movement that can happen. And maybe you decide to play a little bit more. Twists, even bringing those arms up to the sky, seeing just where the body is right now. Giving yourself another breath or two to just explore. I always love that freedom, especially for the first few minutes, because our bodies react differently for the sleep that we've had, the stress that we hold. All right. Finding a ending that feels right for you. Maybe bringing our hands to our heart space and just letting them stack. Little gentle bowing of our head. Notice what brings you here today. Maybe it's changed from when we first got onto our mat. May we stay grounded and present, aware. May we consider what's going on. May we find this presence and peace and lots of compassion. Have a wonderful practice, my friends. Let's press ourselves forward. Let's come into our tabletop position. So as we come into tabletop position, you can tent the fingers, fist the hands, or two high fives, bring it on down to the mat. So we'll find some cats and cows, letting the tailbone lift, the belly lower, the chest open. And as you exhale, there's a rounding of the spine. Press it up to the sky. Even shifting forwards and backwards can open up the back. Inhale, flowing, tailbone lifts, chest opens, move that neck, slide shoulders away from ears, and then round into it. And just a few more times at your own breath pace. And when you're ready, slowly pressing your hips back towards your heels. So as you press those hips back towards your heels, letting the chest sink down and allowing for there to be a shifting motion within our child's pose. Even lifting the corners of your mouth. Life is so fun, right? Life has so many unexpected things, and how we deal with those things are the joy of life. As we settle in child's pose, you might shift in the hips. You can even play around with extending those arms up and over to the right side, getting this peeling open sensation within the left shoulder, within the lats. And wherever you are, anytime you feel any tension or stress or a stretch, I want you to breathe into it and send all of your air to where you feel that stretch. Deep breath in and out. And coming back into center. And then walking those hands over to the left side if that feels right for you. Going as far as it feels comfortable. That right hand can reach a little bit further. Take a deep breath in and out. And then we'll come back to center. And we're going to press ourselves up. Tabletop position. Know that child's pose is always there for you if you need it. Now tuck your toes, press those hips back and up, and come into your your downward facing dog. So as we come into down dog, start to pedal the feet. And I want you to exaggerate the pedaling of your feet. So you get that opposite heel to press down towards the mat. There's this shimmering and shifting that's happening within our hips. You might even shake out your head, yes and no. Notice the shoulders. So we're going to be doing something to open up the shoulders for today. So we have you in down dog quite early within the practice just to see what it feels like. So you can continue to pedal the feet or try something different in the lower half of the body. but pay attention to the shoulders. Maybe see if it feels okay to dial those elbows towards the mat and bend a little bit. You might notice a lot of tension within the shoulders, but this creates a beautiful external rotation. All right, give yourself a breath and out. So we're going to roll forward into our plank position, tucking the pelvis, making sure there's lots of power in the thighs, in the glutes, and we're pushing the ground away with our hands. Press into that upper back. Now, you always have the option to drop knees down to the mat if you choose to. We're going to make our way down to the ground. So let those elbows skim to the ribs, coming down as slowly as you can. Maybe chest hits before, yeah, the belly. So now in this position, we're going to find one little baby cobra. So squeeze those glutes, squeeze your quads. On your inhale, lift the head and shoulders. Gaze is staying towards the front of your mat and you're sliding shoulders away from your ears. Keep tensing. That right shoulder, the right side of the body. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be extreme.